Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Don with the Great Man Sauce, and we're in a day early, Sauce. Day early.
Yeah,
We probably caught
day
a lot
early.
of people off guard, to be honest. And it is episode number 100. There we go.
I should have got my little mini bat.
Well, you know what? We should have raised the bat last week for the Donny Bradman, average 99. We've done it. We somehow got to 100 episodes with people listening to us, so that's a fucking miracle in itself.
I know, and they haven't left it yet, and somehow we've actually added more listeners than what we had in the first 50 to the second 50 on the way to the 100.
They love us. We love them. We've got a good community. They stick by us. They enjoy what we do, and we appreciate them more than absolutely anything. Obviously. It's just been fun, and you're well.
I'm good.
You know,
I'm good. I'm excited. Big
fresh
show.
cut.
Yeah, fresh cut. Looking schmick for the show number 100. Had to get it done, and a lot of things to talk about. There's obviously we're into the NBA finals, so we'll start on that in a second. But then there's a few good things to talk about in regards to the hobby. We went to a card show on the weekend and had a bit of a look around there. So we'll chat about that.
Show a few things that I picked up too.
Yeah, and then we can also talk about some interesting things that have popped up about certain people talking about acquiring certain cards, buying it off each other. Pumping up the price. Nothing really new that we don't know already happens. It's just interesting to see these people talk about this so openly. And I mean, getting called out for it, no, rightfully so. Getting called out for it, right? And we'll talk about it. I'll mention.
We will
see how it pans out later on the show for Hobby Talk. Other than that, Doma,
Lemon of the week as well is here.
We've got a good lemon.
Yeah, Saucy's all over it this week. He's got the lemon.
I couldn't believe it when I seen it.
I laughed.
I was in shock.
I genuinely laughed. I laughed. I shouldn't have laughed. I laughed. I was just like, what is the sheer idiocy of some people out there is beyond me. But
I know they're bad. I know they're bad, but
it proves that sometimes this certain thing is a religion to people, mate, and they take it extremely seriously. So, didn't surprise me. He was pretty stupid, to be honest. But, James, thanks for joining us. Couldn't miss it. Congrats on the 100. Thank you very much. And thanks for being with us since the get-go, man. Appreciate it. We will start with the NBA. Saucy, I know it's my team. I said Boston was going to win this series, but I'm going to go to you because you caught more of this. I caught game highlights. The mini matches. So I've got a good grasp on it all. But obviously, Boston get the job done in 7. A lot of people saying that Miami put up a valiant effort getting the series to 7 after a very poor shooting performance from 3, averaging 30% from the 3-point line in this series. Just struggled. There was no shows from Lowry. Bam Bam. He played 1 game. Hero was injured. But you can start, Sauce, with Jimmy Buckets in Game 6. You were messaging me. My phone was lighting up, and you were loving it. So what did you see in that Game 6 from Buckets?
What didn't I see? He was just a man on a mission. He came out and was just like, you know what? We're taking this to a Game 7. And you could see his intensity early. He came out and attacked from the get-go. And not just that. Like, he was astonishing defensively as well. I think he had 3 steals in that game, and he just was everywhere, doing everything, making plays. And look, it did help that he had guys actually stepping up. Lowry did step up and 18 points, 10 rebounds after, going 0-0 from those stat lines the game before in game 5. And he got help from the other guys. Struce stepped up after he came out of a bit of his shooting slump, and they were able to get the win and force a Game 7. And then, Game 7 came, and Boston was the better team for most of the game, and they did deserve to take out the game 7. Tatum, came out and just showed everyone, that it's his time. He didn't want to lose that game. He took it on his shoulders at the crucial times. He also had, guys stepping up, role players. I mean, Derek White was massive in the last 3 games of this series. I think even in the loss in game 6, he played pretty good. So, the role players for Boston, I feel that's where the matchup was won, in my opinion, because you sort of know what you're going to get from your stars, and there might be games where they're not as efficient or as good as they could be. We've seen that with buckets in some of the games, but the role players were able to step up much better for Boston. Derek White definitely. Al Horford was key at times, and then Robert Williams was just a force inside, and he made it tough for Bam Adebayo. We've seen the best game Bam had in the series was when Robert Williams did not play, went for 30 points or 31 points.
32, I think it was 32.
Right. And then, Robert Williams comes back, he struggles. He really got a good hand in the face when he tried to take those mid-range jumpers. So, yeah, game 7. Look, I thought that Boston had it in the bag. Miami made a run. You had Jimmy Buckets had that attempt at the end for a go-ahead 3. Was it the right call to take that 3?
I reckon you got to.
I don't know. I don't know if it was, but at the same time, I'm looking. I watched that and I was like, you know what? I'm not upset with that shot, because if you go back in the game, I'm pretty sure he took something very much similar and he nailed it, right? Earlier in the game where he dribbled up the court, the guy backed off him and he just pulled up the 3. It was a wide open look. Go have a look at it. It was literally a wide open look. Like you're playing for the go ahead. The only reason why I say, was it the right move? They had the momentum at that point. They'd come back from 10 points down with, I think, under 2.5 minutes on the clock. And he could have just blew by. He probably could have just up-faked, pretended to pull up, and just blown by Al Horford. He would have got to the bucket with ease. There was literally no rim protection behind him, and, equalized it up. But then obviously it would have still left a solid 35 seconds on the clock, but there still would have been more game to go, because I think he took that pull up. There was only 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know, but he was unbelievable, Jimmy Butler. I think, you really missed having Tyler Hero, him getting injured. That was some of your main scoring that just wasn't there. And, other guys weren't able to step up and fill that void. Lowry, who, for as well as he did come back in game 6, game 7, he was back to the Lowry, that we've seen throughout the series. Struggled from 3. He was at his flopping best, as I like to say. Him and Marcus Smart both flopping around.
Kings are flopping.
But Boston deserved to be there. I'm not going to deny them that they were the better team. And I just feel like I think for the finals, it's actually better that Boston made it through, because I think, if you guys went there and with the team that you had and Hero probably still injured, you're probably going to get swept.
Yeah, thank you. You said it, and I'll reiterate it, mate. 100%. Max 5 games, 4 games we would have got done in. We've got too many guys underdone, and if you think those guys did nothing,
Jimmy Buckets is still injured. Yeah, he's not 100%.
Yeah, I know. But if you think those guys that did nothing in this series were going to do something in the next series, no chance. If you thought Bam Adebayo was exposed in this series, just wait till they put the switch on him with guards on every possession and just abuse him like Golden State. They would have just abused him for as many games as it got run.
Him and Strus, both.
Him and Strus. And this is why we'll move on to the finals now, So Boston versus Golden State. We'll get a bit of analysis going and we'll give a bit of our prediction. But this is why I think guys like Robert Williams and guys like Al Horford may not have the same impact that they had against Miami in the next series. They could be a bit exposed. We've seen Golden State really abuse big men a lot with the lineups that they run, the fast pace. The thing that I did mention previously is the ace up the sleeve of Boston is they do play great defense and they know how to slow the tempo of the game due to that great defense. They're able to slow it down to their level and control the game. It just comes down to the matchups. Unfortunately for Boston, they got guys that are hurt in Smart and Robert Williams, and Golden State are getting back Otto Porter, Andre Iguodala, and Gary Payton, and they've got no injuries. So, and they've come off a 6-gamer or 5-gamer? 6-gamer? I think it was 6 games against Boston. Against Dallas, it was a 5.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 5. I think
5.
they beat them 4.
So they've had a 7-game grueling series, Boston, coming into the finals. I don't know. Best defensive team against the best offensive team. So it's going to be interesting. My prediction is I'm not going to give a games count. I don't know. I'm not going to say something crazy. It's going to be a sweep. But I think it will be Golden State. I don't know in how many games. But I think they get it done. If they do get it done, there's a big discussion to be had about some of the players in that team. So your thoughts, Saucy, on the matchup?
Yeah, I think you're right about that in a sense that some of these players might not have as big a role when you're talking about Al Horford and Robert Williams, but I think Al Horford could be one of the key players. He could be one of the key guys for Boston. You know, keeping that paint area free. You know, if they can, you know, stretch the floor and allow more driving lanes for the likes of Jaylen Brown and Tatum to get to the hoop. We've seen this before. You know what happens in these finals. We've seen it last year. 3-point shot doesn't fall, so you're forced to try get to the hoop, get to the lane. You know, having Al Horford there, able to, you know, you can't sag off him. You're gonna have to respect his 3-point shot, and that's going to open driving lanes for Boston, and, you know, keep Looney away from the rim, and Draymond at times when he gets switched out onto Horford. So I do like that, you know, him being in the lineup, and, you know, happy for Horford. I think he's had played the most playoff games without appearing
Making
in
a finals.
making a final series. So, you know, props to him, and you know, hopefully it goes well for him. But yeah, on the Boston side of the ball, they're going to need the best of the best. You know,
Every night, man.
Tatum, Brown,
Smart.
Yeah, they're going to need everything, and I just don't see how they're going to have enough offense to compete with the Warriors. I'm leaning to the Warriors that they are the better team overall. And Kerr's just got more experience in these moments. You know, it's a rookie head coach on the other side in Adoki,
Yeah,
or whatever his name is. Adoka. Yep. There we go. So that's main reasons why I'm going to the Warriors. They've got the championship experience. They've been there, done it. And when you got that aura about you, you get to that spot again. They've got no injuries, as you mentioned, Doma. They're getting the players back who were injured. Just ticks a lot of boxes. And I just like the way their offense runs. Now, don't get me wrong. If Boston has to play very similar, you know, they're going to Tatum's going to be that guy where you facilitate, not get sucked into. He's elevated his game to another level.
Yeah,
this
he
season,
has.
you know,
he has.
he's stopped taking those a lot of those contested shots and understands when he needs to move the ball on out of the double teams, or, you know, when they sometimes flash the double teams or that fake double team where they come up high on the pick and roll. and he gets rid of it quickly, and that opens up avenues for his, his teammates. That's something he's improved massively. So, yeah, look, as much as I can say good things about Boston, I just think Warriors are the better team overall.
That's fair enough. No,
And
that's a fair call.
this is one thing I will say. Warriors win. If they win, Stephen Curry has to win the MVP, the finals MVP. Has to. Like, this has to be the time that he captures one. Because if he doesn't, I don't know. I don't even know how
a lot of people saying his legacy and this and that, but like, I don't know, like Stephen Curry is one of those polarizing superstars in the NBA source, you know?
So
like,
he'll have won 4 titles without ever having a finals MVP.
I know. But
and people want to put him in the top 5 players all time.
Yeah, but I'm going to stick up for him to a point. This is a guy that changed the game himself. He changed the game. He also is polarizing in the point he's so accommodating to other superstars.
Some would say for the better. I wouldn't say for the better.
I wouldn't either. But it doesn't matter. He changed the game. Besides the point. But this is a superstar source that had to take a back seat to certain people. He's put his ego aside. Guys like Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? It's very, very, very different type of superstar. Like, can you see guys like Carmelo Anthony and Westbrook and Kevin Durant doing stuff like that? Like, Kevin Durant's not taking no backseat. Like, Curry took that. It's a different thing. In all honesty, Source is a unanimous MVP. He should have been given the MVP when they beat the Cavs. It shouldn't have gone to Iguodala. I'll harp on this for the rest of my life. He should already have one. Like, he should actually already have one. The reason why they gave it to him is freaking beyond me. It is actually laughable. It's as laughable as LeBron not winning 6 MVPs in a row when he was the most dominant force in basketball. And the same with like all these other guys like Kobe and Jordan. They could have just won it instead of making it a narrative thing. I want to see the best out there winning the awards. And he should have got that. I just don't get it. Anyway. That's my opinion. But yes, I do agree with you, Source. Yes, the way we think and the way we view players is different to the grand scheme of how the world looks at players. And based on what you're saying, correct. He hasn't got a finals MVP, and everyone goes, the stats. He hasn't got this. Jordan's got that. LeBron's got 4. Jordan's got 6. He's got 0. How do you put him in here? Magic's got this. Bird's got that. It is what it is.
On another thing to mention, Doma, is if the Warriors do take out the final series, doesn't it just emphasize the point when Draymond Green turned around to Kevin Durant and said, well, leave. We don't fucking need you anyway.
I'll be honest with you, Source. I'll be honest with you. This is a very good discussion, but I genuinely think that it hurts KD's legacy more than Stephen Curry's.
100% it does.
If Golden State wins.
100% it does.
He's genuinely... Mate, in my opinion, Kevin Durant, he'd be lucky to scrape into the top 15 at the moment. Everyone's putting him, he's 11th, 12th. Shut up, man. Stephen Curry's ahead of Kevin Durant. So, I don't know where you put in Kevin Durant. Stephen Curry is ahead of Kevin Durant. I don't care he's got 2 finals MVPs. He's got this. I don't care. Stephen Curry is ahead of Kevin Durant. That's it. All right? That's my opinion.
They replaced him with Wiggins, and they made it back to the finals before he did when he tried to go leave and put his own super team together.
They got a guy coming off an ACL/Achilles injury in Klay Thompson and an aging Draymond Green, who everyone thought that once they had their dynasty run, after that, he'd be just such his game would just stagnate and just plateau, and he'd be like, he'd just be just this. He's just going to be a role player guy. He won't have any impact because they've got no Durant, they've got no this, no that. So I don't know, Source. Well, we both agree on that. Kevin Durant's legacy is cooked. You can say the same thing for even Boston if Boston wins it for Kyrie Irving. Both these guys' team, Source, that they quit on are now playing for the NBA championship.
Yeah.
And those two Le Mans got bounced. They got swept and went. Well, one probably, I don't know. He did go to Cancun. He was trying to find the ends of the flat Earth, and the other guy went to Turkey to watch EuroLeague, and he hasn't been in contact with the freaking franchise for a month. And then we're hearing rumors that Kyrie Irving might just retire. Like, what the hell is going on? It's going to be this boy.
Crazy.
It's going to be Big Ben at Brooklyn all by himself. Oh, man, it's a mess. But, yes, it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Game 1 is
I'm
Friday.
going Warriors 4-2. Game.
Okay, I was going to go Warriors in 6 as well. So, there you go. We're both going Warriors in 6. Moving on, Sauce. And back to you, because they didn't need the Spanish air at the Santiago Bernabeu. I'll tell you what, they didn't need it. They brought it into Paris. And Hala Madrid, Sauce. Here he is.
Here he is, Big Vinny. Here he is.
Your boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the regular listeners to the show will know how long ago it was that I was saying I was just into the knockout stages when we just got in there, and I said, Real Madrid is going to win this whole tournament, and I stuck by my guns. That was the case, and I originally thought that was Bayern, but once obviously Bayern got bounced, I was like, well, it's Real Madrid. And you still had Liverpool in there. You still had PSG. You still had Man City. You still had all these big clubs. And, no one gave Real a chance. But I said, well, why not? They're playing brilliantly in La Liga. They ended up winning the title there. And they got the most informed striker in the world, most likely the Ballon d'Or winner this coming season as well. He's got to win
it, man.
If he doesn't win it, honestly, Dom, if Benzema does not win the Ballon d'Or, it's rigged. It is literally just...
It is rigged, man. Don't get me started on this. I know there's a certain person, I don't want to mention his name, all right? He won it the year that Wesley Sneijder did the treble Sauce for Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Was the best player in the world. Won everything you can think of.
For Inter Milan, that's right, with Mourinho as the coach.
And he was the best player by a mile. Yeah. And they gave it to another person. And then after that Ballon d'Or is when they came out and said, oh, maybe we should start considering the accolades that players achieve throughout the season. There's a certain person that's been gifted a couple of them. All right. Messi. You know who he is. All right. He's actually been gifted. I'm surprised they gave Modric one. Seriously. I'm actually surprised. And they've robbed Lewandowski of one to give it to one guy. They've robbed Schneider of another one. But I'm with you, Sauce. If he does not win it, like I'll be so surprised. I'll be so surprised.
Anyway, we've veered from the point, but I'll take you through it, Doma. I woke up.
Take it through it.
I woke up 4:55 a.m. in the morning. Kickoff's supposed to go off at 5 a.m. See, the game's been delayed. There was dramas outside the ground. Liverpool supporters were tear gassed and pepper sprayed. It was mayhem. But the game kicked off. First half, Liverpool were all over him like a rash. They probably should have had a goal. If it wasn't for Thibaut Courtois, they would definitely be down at halftime. They had a moment just before the half where they nearly scored a goal. It was called offside. And I think that put a bit of belief into Real Madrid going into the half. And they went in at half. And, they were lucky to get in there in the sheds 0-0 at halftime. And that's where the man himself, Mr. Carlo Ancelotti, calmed them down, said, calma, go out there and play your football. Because you've seen in the second half when they came out, they actually tried to pass through the press instead of trying to long ball, which was what they did a lot in the first half. They passed through the press, and that's how they ended up getting their goal. They passed through the press. They got it down the right-hand side. Valverde cross the box. Vinicius Jr. bang in at the back stick. 2 shots for the whole game they had. and 1 on target, and it was a goal. Liverpool had like 19 shots, I think 7 on target. Quartar was amazing in that second half. He made some great saves. There was one save where the ball went over his head and Salah was coming in at the back post and he sprinted across his line and literally just dived with his legs and hands out and blocked it. And like, you seen Salah, like he couldn't believe it. He literally just grabbed the post and kicked the post in frustration because he's like, what am I supposed to do to beat this guy tonight? And there was nothing you could do. He was man of the match. And you know, in the second half, in my opinion, Real Madrid were the better team. In the first half, Liverpool, they should have been able to take their chances. They didn't. Not that they had really clear-cut chances. They, when I'm talking, one-on-ones with the keeper or anything, it was just, Courtois made some good saves and they got the job done. And it just shows something, when you've won 13 of these before that evening, 13 Champions League titles, you get there, and you've got a lot of those core in there. There was a lot of players in there that have already won
done it before.
Four titles, Modric,
Yeah,
Cruz,
Marcelo.
Casemiro. Marcelo, he's on the bench.
But he's on the bench. The leadership is just as big.
The leadership, that's right, exactly. So in those moments that you have these players, they're going to stand up, and Benzema as well.
Benzema, yeah.
So look, congratulations, Real Madrid. I'm happy because I called it for ages ago, and my boy Vinny scored in the final. So I'm happy about that because I told people long ago that he was much better than people think he is, and he wasn't having the best seasons at that time. He's had a breakout season this year. He's scored something like 20 goals, 30 assists, or something like that. It's unbelievable stats, Vinny Jr. this year across all competitions, and he's a talent. He's a talent, ladies and gentlemen. I keep saying he's in my opinion, he's the next guy for Brazil after Neymar moves on. He's going to be the guy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, Neymar's
with Anthony and Gabriel Martinelli.
Thank you very much.
It's a good team.
Good team.
It's a good team. Now they're not done just yet. Real Madrid. A lot of people see these aging guys. Modric is going to sign. It's confirmed. They see these guys and they're walking out the door. Some of these older defenders, and they think, oh, it's over. They brought Camavinga
Marcelo's going back to Brazil.
That's okay.
He's leaving.
Saucy, that's okay. Yeah. People have forgotten that they've got Antonio Rudiger coming into that team next season.
Yep.
So he's coming in. There's rumors that Real Madrid are going to try and sign Reece James from Chelsea. Rumors. They really want him.
If I was them, it's come out that Lewandowski does not want to. He's not going to sign.
I think he wants to go to Bayern. I think he wants to go to Barca though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would go after Lewandowski.
Tchouaméni, the young prodigy, ready to sign with Madrid. So they got some young core coming in. They got Rodrigo there, as we know, as well. What's his name? I think someone's leaving there. Marcus Asensio. Is he leaving? I think on a free. He might be going. One of them's leaving. But, they got some young guys there, Source. They'll be back up there again. And only a week after Mbappe signed that big deal, they've literally thrown a Champions League trophy in his face to say, like, we can still keep winning these. And if you sign with us, it's not a guarantee, but it is a guarantee to an extent. It's like we've won 14 of these now. Like
the Spanish air just knows how to get us over the line, whereas that Parisian air doesn't know how to get shit over the line when it comes to Champions League because they don't never won one.
When it comes to Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, these teams, all Spanish teams, have been very, very strong. La Liga teams are notorious for being very, very good at Champions League football. Very, very good. So hopefully the GM over there, Kylian Mbappe, can sign some players since he pretty much fucking owns the team now with the new contract. He can tell everyone to get effed if he doesn't like it. So hopefully it goes his way. But yeah, you touched on it, Source. Lewandowski pretty much said his era at Bayern's over. He said he hopes that the club doesn't hold on to him till June 2023. They want him. He wants to be pretty much transferred now. At least Bayern will get something out of it. If they wait till June 2023, he'll walk out on a free and they'll get nothing. So, very interesting times. I think Barcelona are the front runner. So they're more than likely going to get him. That'll be a nice addition up front there with Ferran Torres. It's a nice player to have next to him in Robert Lewandowski. And then they don't have to play some of those other guys up front. They can move him to the wing and, I don't know, create something pretty good there in Barcelona. So if Lewandowski signs, like as a United fan, we won't get Frankie de Jong because Frankie de Jong is like 75% committed to Barca for the fact of like they're playing Champions League. And if you sign someone like Robert Lewandowski, you pretty much want to stay because you got a better chance of winning the Champions League with him coming into your side than going into the Premier League, having to finish in the top four to even make Champions League because we're not even in it, and then fighting to get to that. So when it's a guaranteed thing. So unfortunate for United fans, but good stuff for Barcelona fans with that young core now coming together. Everyone thought, they're pretty much finished after Messi left, and they got a lot of young players now, which are the future
It
of
just
the club.
doesn't happen at those types of clubs. Like
it doesn't.
It just doesn't
It
happen.
doesn't.
Their academy system is like one of the best in the world. The recruitment. It just doesn't happen. And when you've got that name, Barcelona, Real Madrid, you've got
players
that name
want to
you.
play for you, mate.
Players want to play for you. Players want to play for you forever. So it's, Jimmy, before we move on, might be biased, but I wanted to say Real Madrid won, but Liverpool was the better team on the night. Can't disagree with that. But unfortunately, it's what matters on the score sheet, and you couldn't get past Courtois. And that's why he was man of the match. I'm telling you right now, I genuinely think, I wouldn't say put any other keeper, but
the save he made when he flicks it into the post.
Yeah, that was unreal again on Mane in the first half.
That was genuinely that. I reckon another keeper.
Class.
That's a goal, mate. That's a goal. Like that is a guaranteed goal.
Maybe Neuer saves that. Maybe Neuer.
Maybe
Neuer.
Or De Gea, because he's used to saving a lot of things in this day and age, mate. He saved a lot of stuff for United. Potentially.
He was the keeper of the season, pretty much.
Keeper of the century, the way he played. Matty says Mbappe equals LeBron. Yeah, he is. The GM.
He is.
He's
the GM down at
he is. All right, so let's move on because next up we're just going to review what was, I'll tell you what, one of the biggest slogs we have had on an F1 podcast in a very long time. 3 hours and 10 minutes, Source. We spent 3 hours and 10 minutes. We got into all sorts of stuff. It just wasn't an F1 podcast, I can tell you that much. We got into all sorts of
Prism
things.
Basketball packs on the pod.
Prism, it was good. So we'll get straight to it. Race start was 11 p.m. our time. Got delayed 45 minutes because they thought it was going to rain, and then it did rain, and then they thought it was going to be a light shower, and then it pissed down raining when they could have started the race and then just safety car'd it. But anyway, Christian Horner, who is now the lead World Bureau of Meteorologist, came out and said he knows how the rain patterns work in Monaco because the cloud coverage comes over the mountains and you can't tell. And it was very funny. He's just giving his little insight into the weather. So we spent 45 minutes there, Source, to then come out, get the race going. We've got a fair few laps in, and then what was a pretty horrific crash from Mick Schumacher split the car in half.
Yeah, pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, and that was like, honestly, it's like shades of like glimpses of that Haas car a couple seasons ago with Grosjean that burst into flames. So it was very scary to see. But obviously the safety of those cars are unbelievable. The car literally split in half. The whole back end came off the car. Fortunately and thankfully, he walked away from the crash, which is great news. But the race was then red flagged again. Came out on a rolling start, and then it bunched up the pack, Source. But the critical moment in this was the Ferrari blunder, which, what did I say to you, Source? I said it during the podcast. I said, I can see a Ferrari blunder here, putting something in to stuff Charles Leclerc. and I was fucking on the money. It's like it was the oracle, and literally they double stacked, gave the Red Bulls the advantage, who then double stacked themselves and undercut Charles Leclerc. Not signs, but albeit it cost him championship points for Charles Leclerc. But your thoughts on it, Sauce? It was very exciting, this race.
It was an amazing race. It had everything. It had everything, Dom. It had drama from the get-go with the weather. And then you had even more drama where Ferrari stuffed up the pit for Leclerc and forced him to box. They told him to box. And it wasn't he was at that moment. They said box, box, box on the radio. He did the right thing following the team member. The team's orders, and he paid for it. He probably should have won the race. If they didn't pull him in there, he would have gone around and pitted the next lap around, and he would have came out and still been in front. But it didn't happen that way, and Perez was able to gain the lead. And then Perez himself nearly lost it. There was a point there where he locked up his tires and nearly lost control of his car and lost first position, but was able to hold on. And then with the safety cars, it allowed them to get bunched up. So then it made some fun racing because they were all packed up together. We see some amazing moves by Pierre Gasly at one point during the race, overtaking, which is, there's not much overtaking usually on the Monaco track. And, he was able to get a few spots. But yeah, it had everything. It was a brilliant race. It's probably one of the races of the season thus far, in my opinion. And it was a lot better than the American, the US race. I can say that for sure. There's a lot more entertainment, a lot more action going on.
It was great to see Perez get the win. Etches his name in history as I think the first Mexican driver to win Monaco. So great for him. Great for Red Bull Racing. It actually puts him in a really good position in the World Championship, which we'll get to. But the race results were Perez on top, Sainz second, Verstappen third, Charles Leclerc outside fourth. George Russell continues his top 5 finish run.
Yep.
His streak is still going.
The top 5?
Not in any race. That's great for him. Lando in 6th, Alonso 7th, Hamilton 8th, Bottas 9th, Vettel 10th. And then we'll drop down just to 13 where Daniel Ricciardo finished. It's not looking good. Yeah, contract talks are starting to get mentioned and like termination. It could be gone. He could be gone at the mid-season break, which is not good news. The DNFs were Albon, Schumacher, and Magnussen. Over to the constructors. Red Bull 235 ahead of Ferrari on 199 and Mercedes on 134. They're the 3 competing for it. The standings, though, have Verstappen on 125, Leclerc on 116, and Sergio Perez within 15 points of top spot on 110. So he's put himself right in contention here. Then George Russell on 84 points, which is a great effort by him. He's ahead of the second Ferrari and Carlos Sainz on 83. And then Lewis Hamilton in 6th, followed by Norris, Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and so on and so forth. Next race is in 2 weeks' time, so we'll cover that one next week. But all in all, it was a great race. Solid performance by Sergio Perez, which is fantastic. Matty, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Matty Tabe, we are well. He said he saw a video today. He was smashed after his win. Yes, if you haven't seen it, he walks out the top level of a yacht, pretty much getting carried, mate. He was hammered. Oh, Checo Perez. Yeah, he was hammered, mate. It was actually very funny. But yeah, 2 weeks.
Too
many coronas. The next race is Azerbaijan, by the way. And we remember what happened last time at Azerbaijan. Oh, Lewis Hamilton locked up. He got a bit excited. And stuffed it up.
He cost himself the world championship.
Yeah, but it's fair. Yeah.
If he just finished that race and then
he would have won
in second in the last race of the season, he didn't. And I'm just saying he would have just had to finish second because he would have finished.
He did everything else right, Source, last season. He did everything else right. He put Max Verstappen into the wall at 50 Gs. He did everything right, mate. He went Ric Flair last season and he almost won it. So we'll move on straight into the AFL. I'm going to take, me, I'm going to give shots fired every week, or else it's no fun, mate. It's no fun at all. All right, AFL, straight into this one. It was interesting round. Great round for some teams. Very interesting. A few cracking games as well this week. So round 11, we had Friday night footy. We had the Swans coming back to beat the Tigers 16-10, 106 to the Tigers 15-10, 100. Bit of controversy at the end of the game with a free kick, 50 meters, a 50-meter penalty should have been paid, shouldn't have been paid. My opinion, yes, it should have been paid, but because it was Richmond, who gives a shit? I'm glad it wasn't paid, but it definitely was a 50. It definitely was a 50. So, but great win by the Swans.
Well, the laws of the game, 100% it was,
There can't be any complaints from Richmond. They lost this game for themselves. They're up by 5 goals at one stage, or 6 goals in this game at halftime, and they just let it slip in the second half. They threw away the game pretty much.
Yeah, so, they let Sydney get a run on in the second half, and then it was all guns blazing. Buddy Franklin was big. It was good to see him steaming. I mean, the guy is underrated kick for goal. You know, there was a time in his career where he had a lot more of a big arc than what he has now or executes with. And you probably couldn't rely sometimes on his set shot, but he was just dead-eye dick on the weekend.
Would you re-sign him? He's out of contract at the end of the year. Would you re-sign him based on what you've seen so far?
Is that his 10 years up? Is that his 10 years up? Is it?
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, 2012 he went there. I think 2012 or 13 or whatever it is. He's up for a re-signing. I think. Would you re-sign him?
I would re-sign him.
I would too. The way he's playing,
if he gets there and can only play 15 games in finals, you take that.
100%. Mate, this guy, he could end up kicking over 1,100 goals now. We're talking about, he'll get to 1,000 and be done and dusted, but he's played really well this season.
Yes.
He's been consistent. So he's kicked a couple bags, and bag in footy these days is around 5 or 6 goals. 4, 5, 6 goals. That's a bag.
4 or 5 is a bag.
Yeah, that's a bag.
He's definitely
I think he's done that 4 times this season already. He's kicked 4, I think, or 5.
I mean, if they play North Melbourne, he might kick 13 again.
It wouldn't surprise me. I was hoping that,
like they kicked 13 on him last time.
I hope the next time we play, I wish it was the ban. Like, he got booked this week, and he's missing a game for slapping Trent Cotchin, but it is what it is. Let's move on. Lions defeated the Giants 110-96. Good win by the Lions. They were down by 7 goals, I think, or 6 goals at one stage.
Giants came out to play. I actually caught this game. Giants came out to play in the first quarter. It was a high-scoring first quarter, but Brisbane fought back well at home, and then were able to turn the tables around. Like what I've seen from the Giants. You know, obviously, Leon Cameron is gone. I think it's McVeigh in with Hurd as assistant coach.
Spike McVeigh.
I think it's Spike McVeigh. I think so. Or maybe it's, I'm pretty sure it is.
Spike.
And a lot more freedom of ball movement, what I've seen. A lot more freedom of ball movement, taking the game on, really attacking play. So I could see GWS, if they play this brand of footy going forward, they'll win more games. They will win more games because they've got talent there. And, you know, Brisbane's one of the best sides, and they got done by 14 points. Yes, they were up in the game, but you got to expect the Lions are going to come back and fight back at home. Good signs for the Lions, though. Eric Hipwood had a very good game. Looks like, you know, it will be exciting to see once Danaher comes back, Hipwood, Danaher together playing in that forward line, how they can work together.
Bailey.
Yeah, looking dangerous. Side. Looking dangerous.
Not a bad side. And then next up, we had the Cats defeating the Crows by 42, 97-55. I'll get through some of these. These games are a bit junk. The Dogs beat the Eagles by 101. Gold Coast defeated the Hawks by 67. But the interesting one, the 6-goal winners, 38 points, 7-goal winners. That's the way I do it. You need to kick 7 goals to beat that margin. 7-goal winners. Fremantle upsetting the Melbourne Demons at the G on Saturday Arvo was one of the great performances of the round by the Fremantle Dockers.
They were down by 25 points at halftime as well.
They came out and bullied them in the second half.
Melbourne were in control of this game at halftime, in control, and probably could have potentially been up by more. Did miss chances in the first half. So
Stephen May injury was big though.
yeah, Stephen May injury was big. And who knows how long he's going to be out for. But Fremantle came out in the second half, different side in terms of the way that they attacked the ball around the ground at the contest in the center clearances. They were able to dominate those, which is, not something that you see too often from Melbourne, get bullied like that, with Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, and the like in there. But Fremantle did the job. And then when they did get a bit of a run on, they got back. At times, they started to play that chip and mark game, and they had like something ridiculous in the third quarter. In the second half, a ridiculous amount of uncontested marks, and Melbourne just didn't man those up, and that's also something that you don't really see from Melbourne. They're usually quick to press up and start manning those uncontested marks up, because if you just allow a team to chip around the ball like that and chip through your defense, it never ends well if you don't man up those uncontested marks. So props to Fremantle, because they came out in the second half, altered their game plan a little bit, and executed perfectly. Melbourne, disappointing, but nonetheless, it's their first loss of the season. They're 10-1. They're still sitting on top of the ladder with the best percentage. And look, it's probably
chatter.
It's probably the loss that they needed. It's probably the loss.
It's all the same chatter from last year when they were undefeated. They lost the game, and they lost the game, mate. And then they ended up coming into the finals, and they beat every team by an average of 5 goals, leading up to the grand final. And then they just blasted the Dogs out of the park in the second half in that game.
But what Fremantle did show is how you got to go about to beat them.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, Darcy, really strong ruckman, nullified Gawn, didn't allow Gawn to take his contested marks around the ground. And I think he only had one contested mark for the whole game, did Maxi Gawn. And then beat them at the contest, which, in my opinion, doesn't matter who you play against. If you're able to win the contest and win the contested possessions, you're always a good shout to win the game. And then at times use the chip and mark game to control the game at times throughout. Not be that as your primary ball. At times you're going to have to go fast, but rotate those multitude of things through at times, and then execute well. If you don't, Melbourne obviously does execute well most of the time, and they'll beat you. So, look, maybe that's the bit of the blueprint that the league needed to see how you actually beat the Ds, how you can get some wins over them, and maybe Fremantle has opened the door. Also, Fremantle got a lot of good players to come back into that side. So
the great man could be back. Next week.
I'll just say, Dockers supporters, get excited. You're the real deal this year. I've watched you live as well. You're looking good, and you've got a lot of good players to come back. So get excited.
All right, let's move on. Port Adelaide defeated Essendon by 16. You got any comments on this? Nah, good. St Kilda
played one quarter of footy dominate and expect to win a game. We only played the third quarter and we got ourselves back into it, but you can't do that.
St Kilda defeated North Melbourne by 53. I've got no comments on that game. And then we said it last week. We said it would be game of the round, and it was game of the round. Collingwood Carlton Sunday afternoon. It was game of the round. Collingwood defeated Carlton 11-13-79 to 11-9-75. It was a cracker sauce. It was a cracker. Charlie Curnow is a freak. He's so good. They lost Wiedering early. Big win for Collingwood, and you should enjoy the win because you did take the Carlton scalp in one of the greatest rivalries in the game. For Carlton supporters, though, there's not too much to stress about. No Harry Mackay, no Zach Williams. Jacob Wiedering got injured. You got no ruckman at the moment. No Jack Martin playing. You got a lot of guys still to come back in this team and bolster it, and it's already playing really well. So there is an upside. The only downside to the upside is more of your list getting injured, and obviously the depth coming in to plug those holes. If there's too many, you can't plug the holes, you're going to be a sinking ship. So hopefully they can get that sorted after their bye. They'll be fine. Let's move on to round 12. You got anything on that game, Source? It was a cracker.
Didn't catch much of it. I do know there was a bit of a decision at the end there that the Carlton fans wanted over the shoulder. It was 100% there. It was 1,100% there.
It was two free kicks for the price of one because you got grabbed over the shoulder and slapped straight in the face. Like forearm to the face and then around the shoulder.
It was 100%
two free kicks
there.
in it.
But
anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, what can you do?
The buys this week are the buys for round 12 this week are Carlton, Port Adelaide, St Kilda, Essendon, Giants, and the Tigers. And the games this week are Dogs versus Cats on Friday night. Your tip for this one, Source?
I'm going to go Dogs, Marvel Stadium. They'll be ready. Big scalp.
I'm going the Cats. Adelaide versus West Coast in Adelaide.
Adelaide will beat them by 40+ points.
Oh, man. The Gold Coast Suns versus North Melbourne.
This could be very.
It's in Northern Territory. It's in the Northern Territory. Doesn't make a difference. Like the margin, margin might reduce.
The margin playing might in reduce. Those muggy conditions, mate. Gold Coast will win that.
Yeah, I'm going Gold Coast. D's versus Swans at the G.
They'll bounce back this week.
Saturday night. Yeah, D's will bounce back. Same. We got Hawthorne versus Collingwood at the G on Sunday afternoon.
Hawthorne. I reckon Hawthorne are going to bounce back after absolutely getting slapped last week against Gold Coast. This is the Hawthorne. This is a young side that, don't forget, already beat Geelong earlier in the year, right? So a good side. They're going to be having inconsistencies. They're going to have a big week on the track. They beat Brisbane. They're going to have a big week on the track, and they're going to come out and they're going to beat Collingwood this week.
There you go. So the odds at 269 are pretty good.
Yep. Good bet.
I'm going to go with Collingwood. Hopefully they can maintain their run. Well, we'll see. And then the last game at Optus Stadium on Sunday evening is Fremantle versus Brisbane. Yes, it should be game of the round. This one definitely should be game of the round.
And what Nat Fife could potentially be in.
Yep.
Oh wow. I'm definitely gonna have to tune on.
It'd be a full lineup, Source. A full lineup.
This is gonna be a good game. This is a good test for Fremantle. Great test. I'm going to back the Dockers in here at home.
So am I. I'm going to stick with them, especially if my favourite player comes back into the Fremantle side. You know how much I love Nathan Fife. So, yeah, very
We've missed him all season.
Excited. Yes. All right, Source. Let's move on to the UFC.
UFC won't deliberate very long. There is a card this weekend. I will just bring up the card. It is UFC Fight Night. Volkov versus Rodriguez. Kicks off Sunday, 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time here in Melbourne. Check out your local guides for what time it starts for you. You got Volkov versus Rodriguez main event, co-main event. Danny Ing and Mozavar Elvelov in the featherweight division. And then another featherweight bout, Mike Triziano versus Lucas Almeida. Women flyweight, Karina Silva versus Paulina Botello. And light heavyweight, Alonzo Mainfield against Askar Mozharov. And women strawweight, Felice Herrig against Carolina. Oh, this is a good one. Kawal I don't even know. I don't even know where I go after that. Kawalkiwix. Mate, it would be completely wrong.
Yeah,
completely wrong.
Yeah.
So that is this weekend.
Very nice, Source. Very nice. Another shout out in the fighting scene. George Kambosos versus Devin Haney this week.
That is this Sunday?
I think.
This Sunday the 5th. So
it's
I think it's in the afternoon into the evening, I believe. But yeah, that is this Sunday, and that is definitely something that I will be tuning in and watching.
Pre-match entertainment to the Fremantle Brisbane game, Source. Cambosos into Freo Brisbane to end your
Yeah,
Sunday.
George Cambosos against
There you go.
Devin Haney for the lightweight unified belts of the lightweight division.
There's like 50 belts. It's
well, this will
unbelievable.
unify pretty much all the belts. So
Yeah, I know.
if Cambosos wins, or Haney wins, they will, either or will own the belts. But my prediction is Georgie Cambosos will take it the distance and win it on a decision. Take it the full 12 rounds, and Cambosos will win.
Nice. I'm with you, Sauce, on that one. Georgie, get the job done. All right,
mate,
Sauce.
I'll tell you what. Go watch the interview they had down at Culture Kicks. So we're down there yesterday. There was a face-off. Georgie Cambosos, let me tell you, he knows how to get into their head, and he was all over him, calling him a snitch, calling him an absolute rat. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
It's Conor McGregor-esque. You're a rat. All right. Le Mans of the week, Sauce. This is you. This has got your name written all over it, this one. Set the scene.
Yeah. Look, Doma, we know supporters can be really passionate. And in one sport in particular, they are super, super passionate. And I'm talking about the world game, football, aka soccer for the Americans out there. We know that the passion runs high in the world game. It really does. It's got some of the most passionate supporters that there is. But there's a point where you're passionate, and there's a point where you're just a damn idiot.
Le Mans.
Right? Le Mans, as we're about to say. And over the weekend, Saint Etienne had their playoff game against, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Saint Etienne, which I've been there. I've actually been to that city. Watched a Euro game there. Very nice stadium, very nice city. They lost. They got relegated to League 2. And at the conclusion of the match,
I reckon I'll be able to find this.
If you can find it, we'll bring it up. At the conclusion of the match, the supporters ran on the ground, the Saint Etienne supporters, and as they started running on the ground, the Saint Etienne players, realized, shit, we need to get off. So they started running back into the tunnel to go back into the change rooms, and they were launched with flares, and not, when I'm talking flares, I'm talking like a solid 30 flares thrown at them.
Here we go.
Here we go. We'll bring it up. We'll show you. Here it is. Look at this. So there's the Saint Etienne. They're in green. Now they realize, fuck, we got to run. And look, what happens? These guys come from the side and bang, they're throwing flares at him. You fucking serious? How dumb can you be? How dumb can you be? Yeah.
There you go, Sauce.
So, for that, the supporters of Saint Etienne Football Club in League 2 now, you shit cunts, you are lemons. Well, I'm going to give them absolute shit, because when you do lemon stuff like that, you deserve to be called absolute shit. See you next Tuesdays.
I can't believe we said that word on this show. It's the first time. It took 100 episodes, but it's pretty good. We'll take it. That's just a present. It is. It's a present for everyone for tuning in for 100 episodes. It's a saucy special, as we like to say. All right. No, it's terrible, Sauce. In all honesty, it's actually dumb. But you called out a fan base that might actually come and try and hunt you down, just like when I gave Tony Bellews the Le Mans. That was so dumb.
I've been to their city. Dumb. They had their chance to get me.
That's it. You're not going back now. That's for sure. It looked like something out of. It actually looked like something out of Harry Potter, mate. Like all those freaking things flying. Look like spells. It was just fucked. That was crazy. Actually crazy. Adam says maybe if the game of soccer was more entertaining, the fan wouldn't have to create their own fun. Okay, fair call. Fair enough. All right, let's move on to Hobby Talk, brought to you by Platinum Standard. Thank you very much to the people down at Platinum Standard Grading. Bulk Sub 2 is officially open. Their turnaround times are on fire. They're affordable to get your cards graded. The slabs, in my opinion, look fantastic. There's the carry that I put up. There's the carry. Get your cards in. Head on over to the Facebook page. It's actually, the link is in the description of this video. Jump in there, join, have a look at the pricing. Send your cards in, get them graded, and you'll enjoy their product. And speaking about Wayne Carey card source, we can shift into Melbourne Card Fair, which we went down to. A lot of the store holders there were disappointed that we didn't have a table, but we came there on a different with a different goal, just to network, meet people, come say hello to people that we already knew, support the event. And it was good fun. It was really good fun. There was some pickups there. Saucy spent some money. I spent some money. We had a lot of fun. It was great. It was a big improvement from the first one that they did there.
Yeah. It was a big improvement. So shout out to Shane for
definitely
getting the ball rolling and improving the event. Each time it's getting better and better.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
And there's more vendors. Overall it was a fun time, and seeing some people down there that stopped us, that listen to the pod and know who we are from social media and the like. So said g'day, and we looked through some interesting folders, and there's a few old timers down there who have some really, really old stuff. And we got some pickups. I can show you a few of the stuff.
We will go through it. In the meantime, Jay says, congrats on your 100 episodes. 100 episode, guys. Wonderful effort. Appreciate the dedication. You guys rock. Appreciate it. Jay, we love you, mate. And we love everyone in the Double Coverage family. Adam says, 100%. Well said. Jay, Global, g'day. How are you going? And he says, you're looking sharp, Saucy. Global rating.
Yeah, I got a fresh cut for the 100th episode, mate. Fresh cut for the 100th episode.
I like it. But we picked up a few things, Sauce. We picked up a few things. We can both go through. We bought some things that were similar, like in terms of like the type of card. So you picked up a few nice things. You put up something this evening on your Saucy Collectibles IG page.
Correct.
Which was very interesting. We'll just going through a couple of the bins there. And one store holder had a bin with footy cards, AFL cards, looking like this. Just an old Stimroll card signed by Dermot Brereton.
Let's see if this camera's a bit better.
That is.
Oh, there we go.
That is an all-time quote, by the way, Source. Jay said, "Did Kong's cards cut your hair?"
Why? What's the matter with the haircut?
No, he's just saying because they're card trimmers. Did they cut your hair?
No, he didn't.
That's a great call.
Mate, hair to the max, Sydney Road, Brunswick. Get down there. Best haircuts in the business. Only charges $10, mate. And you got the beard trimmed as well, mate. I gave him 20 because I'm generous. And I told him, mate, your prices are too cheap, because last time I went to some other place, they charged me $50. And I said, I'm definitely not going back to there.
$50?
Yeah, $50 for a beard trim and a haircut, mate. I'm not going back there again. He only wanted to charge me 10, old Max. But
good work, Max Attack. Yeah, that's it, Saucy. Looking after that.
Anyway, all right. Dermot Brereton, Stimroll, 91 Stimroll. We know all about the 91 Stimroll set, don't we, Doma? It's got the Wayne Carey rookie in there.
That's
and
correct.
That's signed. So there's a few guys there that go out there and get these cards signed in person. Yes, it's not an official signature from Select or an official, product, but who gives a fuck? I know it's his actual signature, so never know. Maybe we might be into the era of PSG and see if we can get some of these maybe potentially authenticated. Because,
yeah, 100%.
We know they're legit. A Tony Liberatore. So Tony Liberatore is Tom Liberatore's father, who plays for the Western Bulldogs currently. And I actually used to play against Tom Liberatore, so his son in basketball. And I've met Tony Liberatore before and shook his hand and spoken to him. So it was just cool to buy something of someone that I've actually met.
Went to our primary school source, Tony Liberatore.
There you go. I had no idea.
There you go. Went to school with my dad.
Danny Spud Frawley. So this is an in-person auto that he had of Danny Spud Frawley. Rest in peace, his soul. Unfortunately, he's passed away. So I picked this one up. I thought it was an interesting piece. The St. Kilda legend. And then there was a few here. Matthew Lloyd. So one of the Essendon's greatest goal kickers, Matthew Lloyd, he's kicked over 1,000 goals as well. Maybe not. No, he's kicked 900 or something. 900 and something. He's very close. Very close.
700, I think it is. Or is it 960?
He's in 900s. Jason Johnson, he's an Essendon premiership player, played in Essendon's last premiership in 2000 as well. And then Dustin Fletcher was Essendon premiership player as well. These are all signed. So this gentleman, he goes there with all the base cards or inserts or whatever he's got, goes down to the clubs and whether it be at trainings and stuff, and gets them signed in person. So really cool. Pick up some of these, and I mean literally all of those that I just showed you there, $30. $30, right? I don't know how you can go wrong. I actually don't know.
All right, so get it on to me. I bought some stuff. It was actually good fun. It was actually really, really good. So Saucy's gone through these bins, and I go, you know what? I'm going to have a look because I might find some players that I like. And of course I did. I found some North Melbourne players. Corey McKernan rookie card, signed by Corey McKernan.
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
That.
Rookie.
John Longmire, who's the coach of the Sydney Swans. He was an absolute gun for North Melbourne. Played in our 1996 premiership. It's signed by Horse.
99? Was he in the 99?
No, I don't think so. I think he was injured in 99. One of them. He did his knee, and he wasn't in one of them. Then from one store holder, I picked up a few interesting things, Sauce. And
he had a lot of old stuff,
he
folders
had some good
that
stuff.
hadn't been looked through.
I bought off this person at Malvern, and this person said that he had F1 cards, old F1. He left the folder at home, and he said, at the next show, I should have it. Rocked up, and I'm looking. I see the folder that there was I think Indy cars on the front. So turn the page, and I see some F1. So picked up these. Two of these, pole position, Eden Center.
What set's that from?
This is the 92. 92. Adelaide 92 is where the insert's from, but it's from the 95 Futera F1 set. Then we've got fastest laps, Michael Schumacher. Picked up two of those. There's an interesting story coming, Source. All right. Picked up these, which are one of the big hits of the set. And I found out a bit more about them post-show. All I know is that they go for a bit. Like, you can flip these for a bit. And that's the reason why I bought two of everything, because I plan on flipping one and keeping one for my PC. But Adelaide Grand Prix, thanks Adelaide card. This one here, have a look at the two drivers up the top there. Eden Senna, Michael Schumacher. Now, this is an interesting card. I picked up two of those. 20 wrappers to be sent in, Source, from that set in an envelope, and you get that card. There's only 3,000 of them. So the first 3,000, best in, best served. All the base cards here, all numbered to, the centers are numbered to 3,000. The Schumachers are numbered to 5,000. So numbered cards, which is pretty good. They sell for a bit, which is good for me because I paid absolutely nothing for them. This card I pretty much got for free based off of how much I flipped one of the cards for, which is, it's not worth much, but I thought I'd add this to the set.
Hang on.
That is an AW Sports 1991 Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that was cool. He had some cool boxing stuff there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there was a good variety of everything at this show, and there we go.
The pickup of the show for me, and I was with the Oracle. The Oracle was over my shoulder. Saucy walked past, and Saucy's looking at something else. And I'm going through this cardboard box, and I had a whole bunch of Stimmerol cards, like Saucy showed, of Dermot Brereton. Going through. They were literally battered, Sauce. Absolutely battered. Going through, get to the second last pile that I pulled out of this box. Get towards the end. And what do I find, Sauce? I thought I had every single one in Melbourne outside of Footy Card Guide, who's also got a heap of them.
All-Star Sports cards.
And All-Star Sports cards. He's got one as well. But this was sitting there, Sauce.
Oh, he's got another one.
Another one. Now, this one I picked up for free because it was $1. And
we already bought some stuff off him, and he wanted $1, and he said, just take it, throw it in.
So I got another one, Sauce, and I just said to you before we came onto the show that this one is in better condition, if not the same or better, than the one that I got in a PSG 9. It looks unbelievable. And to be honest, it was the best condition card out of every other card that was in there. Even if it was tattered, I still would have bought it, Sauce. But the Wayne Carey rookie, I think I got like 6 now. One of them graded. Just keep them coming. If you've got them, send them in.
I've got
double coverage mailbag. Send them straight in. So, yeah, but it was good fun, Sauce. Great variety of vendors there.
It was good fun.
There was basketball, Pokemon.
Had chat with a whole bunch of people. Had a chat with a few of the vendors and talked about just cards and the hobby, and yeah, it was good. It was awesome. We couldn't stay too long. We probably stayed a little bit longer than we actually had anticipated at the beginning, but that was just because we got stopped from people and literally just we were there for 2.5 hours. I reckon a solid hour and a half of that, Dom, was just you and I just talking to people.
Yeah,
and we only looked through cards for an hour, and we still managed to blow a bit of money, which is always what you got to do when you go to these. You'll find something that you want to buy, and yeah, it was good fun. Can't wait for the next one. I'm not exactly sure when it is, but whenever it is, we will try to inform you guys when exactly that is and whereabouts it is.
Definitely. So. Next up, Sauce. Just a quick shout out to Kurt's Card Care on Instagram. Saucy sent me something from him. It's got cleaning products, and he shows how he cleans cards and pretty much fixes them when they come out of packs, dinged and scratched. Pretty impressive stuff. So shout out to him. Go check out his page. It's really good look and watch, and you can buy his products. It only ships to America, but maybe there could be some sort of situation where maybe you might be able to get it shipped to you. Ship my cards, maybe DM Brian Wells or find out off Brian Wells from Ship My Cards whether he will allow you to get that sent there, so you can get it sent back to Oz. If that's the case, if you want them, because I think his website doesn't ship outside the US. But yeah, it's definitely a very, very good look. His page, Kurt's Card, what was it? Kurt's Card Care.
Kurt's Card Care on Instagram.
Kurt with a K and then Card Care with a C. Just in case, some people put different letters and to match their name and stuff. True. All right. Saucy, Ziggy, and AIH Sports Cards had a bit of a chat.
Yeah, had a bit of a chat about just about. There you go, Jay. He's going to the US. There you go. So put your order in with Jay if you want something. He'll hook you up. I don't know if it's any
I
random.
want something.
Yeah,
I
Jay.
want you to bring me back a present, Jay, from Christie's auction. You pick whatever it is. You buy it for me and Source.
They had a good discussion over. There was a like a round table discussion with these Instagram people. One of them was called the Great Curator, DAP Cards or something. And, they've got pretty decent followings on Instagram. They're probably, they're on a different level to you and I, Doma, in terms of what their financial situation allows them to collect. And they had a bit of like a discussion about how they were creating value in a certain sector, and this was Star Wars. And they pretty much, if they didn't, you read between the lines in what they're saying, they're pretty much pumping the price of the Star Wars cards by selling it to each other. That's pretty much what they're doing, right? And Ziggy and AIH Sports Cards, Ziggy, if you don't follow Ziggy, look him up Instagram. Ziggy Sports Cards Daily. Check out his page. Good content, calls out rubbish in the hobby. Yeah, exactly, Jay. Great curator is a sham. AIH and Ziggy are the goats. Yeah. AIH and Ziggy call out rubbish in the hobby in terms of, what we're talking about. These big wealthy people, they're just using their wealth to enhance value of cards by selling it to each other. It's nothing new that we haven't seen, but it's just bizarre that they pretty much tell everyone that this is what they're doing, right? Openly, right? And it's not like they say and they laugh about it and joke about it. You know what I mean? Like it's something, we're going to now then find some other sucker to then buy it off us because we've already now created a lot of interest in it by hyping it up and pumping it up and by selling it to each other once, twice, and then, that creates interest within the Star Wars market. Now Star Wars is big, and then all of a sudden they've been buying Star Wars cards for the last 6 months, and now they've got all these graded Star Wars refractors and everything, and then they start selling them all off because they're literally pumping them up on all their Instagram pages that they've got crazy followings on, and you get a whole bunch of sheep that now want to collect Star Wars cards. It's fucking crazy, Dom. But that's what happens in this hobby. There are sharks. There are sharks. There are literally sharks that's I don't know. I don't. It's like they thrive off, even though they're that wealthy enough that they don't fucking need to make this money off the cards, right? They thrive off being able to manipulate markets to make more money. And it makes me sick, man. Like, it actually makes me sick, So just be wary out there. Like, you just got to be careful, especially sometimes, if you want to buy a certain card, and you think it might be overpriced. I don't know. Just do your research. Be careful that you're not buying something that's been pumped, especially if you're jumping into a new sort of sector that's getting pumped. You know how that happens, Dom. It was at one stage it was freaking F1, and the F1 has stayed high, but it's come down a bit. And then Star Wars, Marvel was another one.
I love this. I love this.
So just be careful if you're jumping into anything new that pops up that starts to go gangbusters. Any new thing of collecting, the next thing could be fucking Simpsons cards, which hasn't popped yet. Or
hey, I was speaking to someone about Simpson cards at the Melbourne Card Fair, and to be honest, they should have already had a run. How they haven't had a run is beyond me. Longest running TV show.
And DC.
Yeah, and DC. And we've got these other crap like Garbage Pail Kids and all this other
Fucking
shit.
Fortnite cards. Fucking
Fortnite
frozen cards.
fucking V friends and Le Mans friends and double coverage friends. I don't know what that we're gonna mate, we should make double coverage friends. Just get our followers. I'll draw you. You send me a picture of you. I'll try and sketch it the best I can, and I'll put it up on eBay, and we'll fucking shill it to the moon. That's all we'll do. Or we'll trade it amongst each other. You pay me $5,000 for the card. All right. I'll give you your $5,000 back. So it registers as a $5,000 sale. Then Jay will come along and say, I'll give you $50,000. And then I'll give him the card back. And the $50,000.
Reimbursing the $50,000 on the side in a paper bag.
Then Global will come along and say, here's $100,000. And we'll keep rinsing and repeating. And then all of a sudden, the double coverage friends card will be worth more than a freaking house. And they'll be like, oh, this is the next thing. This is the next thing. And I'm sitting here just fucking drawing stick figures of lemons and people that we know and us. What the hell? What's going on? Well, they've got like what? Happy Hippo. What are we going to have? Dickhead Dom and Sexy Saucy. Oh, come on, man. What the hell's going on? Fucking hell. The hobby's genuinely lost the plot. These people are idiots. That's why we're talking more and more about this dodgy stuff. Because these people that genuinely think it's all good and kumbaya, roast marshmallows around the campfire.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. People in the hobby. This also makes me sick. Is people in the hobby that have other shows, have bigger followings than us, right? They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about this stuff, right? They don't want to talk about this stuff, and they just want to be all positive in the hobby. All positive.
I'll be honest with you.
No, Dom, we just want positivity, mate. We just want positivity.
All the kumbaya singers, Sauce, you know the funny thing? All the kumbaya singers that everyone gets sucked into, you are actually getting scammed. They are genuinely scamming you. Straight up. Majority of them are just blowing smoke up your eye. They're like the hot chick in the club, mate. Singing sweet whispers in your ear so you buy her free drinks, but you ain't getting none of that. As simple as that. That's what it is. You people are so dumb.
That's a great analogy.
People are so dumb, man.
I love it. That's a great analogy.
Man, they're so dumb. They're actually stupid. And that brings us on to the next thing. Because, don't worry, we got more dodgy shit to fucking reveal on tonight's show. Episode 100. And we're bringing it all. Time to just expose some more lemons. So there's someone out there, all right, that may be in certain groups such as Hotspot NBA and NBA Cards Down Under and a few more. And it could be in some global groups out there, all right? So you can do your research and try and find out who this Lemon is. But what's happening is he's getting paid to buy high-end cards from people that have got a lot of money. So he's been going around buying Facebook groups to get first dibs on the cards that are put on sale in the certain groups. And he has the rights to some of these big ones, as I said. And he said once the card surfaces to the public, he gets free reign in the admin approval section or from admins that run the group before it even gets dropped in the group. And sometimes when it does get dropped in the group, it says, card sold, written in by the admin on some of these images. He's going around getting first dibs for his mates so they can then go and do what who were the idiots that you said had the round table discussion?
Great Curator, Dabs
Great
cards,
and Lemon cards.
There was two other Lemons in there as well, but they're just the two names that I remember.
We always said this to people: the rich will always get richer in this hobby, and they will screw you at any corner to get what they want, to increase their profits, to increase their quality of life. They will do whatever they see fit to do it. It is Raymond Lee of Asian Cards. Jay, I couldn't give a fuck. Who the fuck's this lemon? What's he going to do?
Yeah.
Well, so kick me out of every NBA card group. Fuck. Oh, that's just so sad. Jeez.
Yeah. So what a pretty loss. Much, yeah, he's, I don't know. He's just buying off groups one by one so that he can, buy whatever cards surface. He has first dibs at them, so... maybe there's a collector out there that doesn't get the opportunity to buy that card for their collection. it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. And because there's that much money involved in this, it's what's gonna
That's
happen.
what happens,
It's what's
man.
gonna happen.
Just keep screwing you people over. Anyway. You don't need to listen to us. We'll be the small fish in the big pond, in the big ocean, mate. And listen to the big fish, and the big fish will just keep on rorting you every second that they get. So have fun with that. So there's a few nice, interesting things happening in the hobby now. And those people happen to be probably kumbaya singers around the campfire. And just remember, I'm telling you, man, the sweet whispers, mate, they're getting quieter and quieter, and people getting sucked in more. And there's more drinks being bought for those women. Raymond Limon. Saucy. Let's get into some actual card stuff. Just an interesting comp that you wanted to do between Tatum and Luka the Don, because you've seen something that's a bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to try. Well, I was trying to compare their indexes, but we'll try maybe go to the something else. I'm trying to find something that would be relatively similar. I don't know if he. I wonder if I can just compare this card. All right, let's muck around with it.
Bro, there's this TikTok. Bro, this is so funny. Have a look at this. Make me big for 2 seconds. This guy's at the footy. Yeah. He opens up a pack of Team Coach, and he's at the Adelaide. Oh, I don't know. He's an Adelaide supporter, but he's at a game with Gold Coast fans. And what's the reaction when he opens the pack and the first card? Because it's a Gold Coast player, they just lose their marbles, mate. The rest of the pack shit.
And they lost their marbles. I love it. All right, you're getting booted. All right, let's bring this up, Dom. Look, this is just one card that I've had a look at, and this is actually pretty crazy if you ask me.
We'll do, Jay.
So I'm comparing here the Jason Tatum blue auto rated rookie signature auto compared to Luka Doncic. They're both BGS 9.5. Doma, both BGS 9.5. Last sold the Tatum only 1,800. Luka Doncic 18K last sold.
Yeah, okay.
If Jason Tatum goes on and wins Boston Celtics the finals, how the fuck is he 10 times less expensive than Luka Doncic? People can't tell me and put Tatum and Doncic side by side and 100% say that Luka Doncic is better at basketball than Jason Tatum. You can't say that.
A lot of it's optics. Source. It is optics. Because I look at it and go, like, Luke is unbelievable, yeah. But I think his game is heightened by the fact that he plays with no one. But Tatum's dominant in a team surrounded by guys that are actually good. And he's still that good. And the difference is, like, Tatum can actually play defense. Luka doesn't know how to. Yeah, the Global's on the money. He's the hobby darling. He's Luka the Don. Yeah. Brett's in. He says, Doma, remember what I said about North a few weeks back? Double coverage with the scoop. Yeah, you're on the money. You said it before our whole list team walked out the door. So what's the next scoop, Brett? Feel free to flick it on and we'll break the news here on double coverage. Adam also says, if you want a good watch, a bloke called Grime Finds on YouTube found a 200K Yu-Gi-Oh collection in an abandoned storage unit he paid $4,000 USD for. It's pretty good.
I love that shit.
That's epic. That's life-changing money. I love that stuff. What's happening now?
So here's the National Treasures RPA. Cardladder has a value of it at 124,000. I don't know. There should be some sold. I don't know why there's no sales data in here. Your platform's broken. What's going on, Cardladder? That's not good enough. Surely there's been some sold on Golden at some point.
There was one sold. There was one sold 2 weeks ago.
Oh, this is what I mean. I don't understand why it's not coming up in there. That's what I'm trying to say, mate. It's fucking broken.
What the hell?
I think it's just because this one's raw. Hang on. Oh, there's one. There's a BGS 9.5. All right, let's try find a Luka Doncic one.
Luka the Don.
Yeah, because I clicked it on raw. All right, let's click on.
There we go.
We got one now. We got a BGS 9.5 as a comp, right? Let's get rid of this shit. So last sold Jason Tatum 71,000 in a BGS 9.5 for his National Treasures RPA to 99, and Luka Doncic last sold 266,000 BGS 9.5.
And that's down to that card source. It was.
Yeah, that's down from its peak of 350. So it's down a measly 100K. Tatum's actually gone up from 45K back in April to 71K. So his performance in the playoffs, because this sold just 10 days ago, has seen a rise in that RPA. But yeah, this is what I mean. If he goes on to win, Doma, how the hell and win a title, how the hell playing for one of the most historied franchises in the NBA, if not, like them and the Lakers are there together.
Yeah, they are. That's fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Playing for that market, how the hell is he nearly 200 grand less than Doncic? Like if playing and relativeness of like what you do on the court matters for anything in your price, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
this brings it back.
Not to mention, I still think fucking 70 grand for a piece of cardboard is fucking crazy, and 266 grand for a piece of cardboard is crazy. But
this brings it back to what you started this, like your segment off in Hobby Talk. Comes back to people that want to pay the money to move this card around, and it's the guy that they think is the guy that should be moving around. So he's the guy that gets the love, and the guy's been Luka from the get-go, because like Global said, he's the hobby darling and loved so dearly by everyone. No matter what he does and how he does it, he's still loved. Simple as that. There's no other answer for it. There's other guys out there that have got one title source and like no one cares. James says Tatum is underrated. He's only 24 years old. I completely agree.
But this is what I'm trying to say to people. Like you can't sit there and say that Luka Doncic is better at basketball than Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is 1,000 times better defender than fucking Doncic. 1,000 times better, man. He's actually a two-way player. Doncic doesn't play that good defense. He's not that good on defense, man. Like,
well, you know what? Tatum is the better player. He's made the Eastern Conference Finals. What?
Second time. Now he's in the finals.
Second time, and now he's made the finals. And Doncic just made the Western Conference Finals once.
And he made the Eastern Conference Finals his rookie season.
I don't know.
Rookie season.
Maybe it's 3 times they've made it. Didn't they? No. Wrong. No. I'm wrong. Twice. I don't know, Source. I can't give you that answer. You got to go get the answer from the guy that spent $280,000 on him. And tell me why he's worth more than Tatum, because he'll justify his purchase to you. Or her. She will, or he will. So,
mate,
I know you're looking up the stats.
I'm looking up.
They're not going to be too far apart, bro.
No, I'm not looking. I'm looking up the stats, but I'm saying his rookie season, he made the Eastern Conference Finals.
What's their averages? You can do a compare, can't you?
Yeah, you can compare. Hang on.
Look at this, mate. This is what we do here. Stats and facts. Stats and facts. I'm actually kind of regretting. I'm regretting the fact that I sold my Tatum Prism rookie now. But at least I sold it to someone that.
It sold it to a collector.
Yeah, sold it to a collector. Right. It's worth it.
All right. So over the career, Tatum's obviously less points, but that's because I think Luka had definitely a better rookie year. Free throw percentage, Tatum's better. Turnovers on average, Tatum is better. 2-point field goal, Luka is better. 3-point field goal, Tatum is much better.
He shoots it at 39%. It's pretty good.
And then defensive rating, Tatum is better. As I said, he is better defensively. Averages more steals, averages more blocks. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say to people.
They're not too far apart. The points per game is the thing that Luka's got over him.
Points per game. But this is looking at, you got to remember, this is looking at their whole career. And in his first 2 seasons, he averaged only 13.9 points and 15.7 points in his first 2 seasons. Whereas Luka Doncic was obviously a lot better in his earlier seasons. 21 points straight from the get-go, 28 points, 27 points, 28 points, right? Yeah. Tatum's had to build into that. But, ladies and gentlemen, that comes with Luka playing against men from the get-go, right? In the EuroLeague as a youngster. That is why he was able to come in and be so effective and play against men at such a high level here in, the NBA. Obviously, you got to have an amazing talent to be able to do that as well. But I think just, being more ready to play against big bodies makes a difference. So, look, just interesting thing throw out there. I just can't believe that there's so much discrepancy in their cards and card prices. And if Boston does go on to win, I think Jason Tatum will be the Finals MVP. So I'm not saying go on to buy his cards and take a punt, because we've seen what happens with people's cards when they actually do win. Although I actually think Tatum and like a guy like Tatum and Luka, if they were to win a Finals, I think their cards would actually increase. It would be not so much of a because they're such, especially Luka, they're such like he's such a hobby, as his global said, hobby darling, that people would pump up the price of his cards. And I feel like something similar would happen with Tatum. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Very nice. Global says, when do you think Luka will get a title? When he gets another guy, I think.
Yeah.
They needs a bit more help.
Needs more help, that franchise. You're not going to get it done with Reggie Bullock, and even if Tim Hardaway Jr. was there, he wouldn't have been enough.
Saucy Smokey, do we have one?
No real Smokey. Haven't been looking at much. As I said, haven't been buying too much for my collection. That was just because we went to the card show and they were cheap. Holding back, just trying to find the last piece to that 1997 Planet Metal universe. Need the Michael Jordan, and it's like $1,000 card, and I don't want to pay $1,000. So trying to find like a shit copy. I couldn't even give a fuck if it was a PSA 1, or he had a big crease down the middle just to finish the set. But yeah, someone will still probably try to charge me $500 for a ratted one. So it's an expensive card. So just holding out a little bit. Brett, imagine if Luka had Jordan's dedication to conditioning. He's got pretty good conditioning, Luka. I mean, if you've seen his workouts, he goes pretty hard. I just think he's expected to do so much on that team that when it gets down the stretch, because he's forced to do so much, he's cooked. You know, that's what happens when you don't have another guy.
That's it. All right, gents, ladies, thank you. I'm going to leave it on this one because, 100 episodes in, we built great community, and Global put a really, really lovely message in. He said, you don't actually know how much your boys help put a smile on my face and take the stress of life's issues away, even for a short while. Dead set legends. This is the point of it all. This is why we started this, not to just give our opinions, but to meet great people in the hobby, meet great people in the sports space, share stories, get to know you, build friendships and connections. And without you, double coverage is obviously nothing. So we appreciate your support. Here's to the next 100 episodes. And as we said, to the next 900 to get to 1,000, which is a fair few years away, Source. I think a lot will change in the next 900 episodes. We'll look a bit different, a bit grayer. I might have about 10 kids hanging off of me.
Might be a silver flocks by then.
Yeah, got kids. My kids will be running the show by the time we get to your kids. They'll be running it. Mini coverage. That's what it'll be. Thanks.
We'll be ripping packs with them.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Congrats on the 100 lads. Some decent rants. I appreciate it. For the 100th time on our weekly pod, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce. It's double coverage. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double curve.